So beyond the stupid individual errors, Mazraoui losing concentration at the back post against Mitoma for 2 of the goals, Onana again just making a ridiculous error, meaning that I'm now putting him on probation for the rest of the season with Martinez, who for some reason wasn't in the starting 11 and didn't even make it onto the pitch despite us crying out for his creative passing from deep, which signals to me that Amorim doesn't fancy him, unless it's an injury issue, but then why would he be on the bench? And we have also been linked with Inacio. But the thing is, the individual errors from the back line aren't even our biggest issue at the moment. It's the fact that we've completely decimated our squad of any quality in forward areas, have no natural wing-backs despite using a back-three system, and have no quality in depth in the midfield at all. I mean, we have to sell Højlund and Garnacho at this point, because it's obvious they shouldn't be starters, but even when they alongside Antony came on, you just thought game over, because realistically, they struggled to get onto the pitch for Brighton. Eriksen and Casemiro are our central midfield alternative options, but they are practically useless to Amorim because they just don't have the legs, and the fact that Collier comes on when we need a goal, who is a decent player but not really Manchester United level, pretty much sums up how transfers under Ineos and Ten Hag have given us a squad depth of a relegation level side. But also I think we have to bring Rashford back if we aren't getting a replacement. I said it before, Amorim should have just said to Rashford, look, we are going to sell you in January, but we are going to keep you in the squad until then, because even having Rashford coming off the bench would be better than bringing on Højlund, Garnacho and Antony. Also, why on earth haven't Ineos just gone out and re-signed Alvaro Fernandez? It's not even an expensive deal whatsoever, working out to about £8.25 million, which is only £2 million more than we sold him for in the summer. I mean, just putting Alvaro Fernandez in at left wing back massively improves us, because whilst I think Dalot has been one of our better players, certainly a lot better in possession than Mazraoui from a ball progression point of view, who is clearly not a wing back and more of a wide centre back, Dalot just doesn't have the explosive acceleration or the left foot to provide the balance in the attack, and with Mazraoui at right wing back, we have a serious lack of ball progression, creativity and offensive threat in the final third. And Ineos can't even use finances as an excuse. This is straight up incompetence, because Alvaro Fernandez would cost under £10 million, and if not him, at least go out and get someone like Reguilón for the second half of the season. Now before I carry on, a quick reminder, I do have an in-game Instagram group chat where we do have analysis and discussion throughout all the Manchester United games. I am also working on an ebook to release at the end of the month, so if you are in the group chat when that does come out, you will get it for free. If not, it will be slightly more expensive. But back to the video, if Mount and Shaw could actually stay fit for more than a week, we'd actually be so much better, because we could then use Ahmad as a right wing back, Shaw as the left wing back, and use Mason Mount in the right-sided interior forward role, providing the forward runs ahead of Ahmad from wide positions, and ahead of Xerxes' deeper movement from the centre. I get why Amorim doesn't want to have Rashford in the squad, but when you have players at the level of Garnacho, Højlund and Antony as the alternatives, I just think you have to bite the bullet and at least have him as an option on the bench, because it's becoming painful watching those three, particularly Antony and Højlund. And the other issue is actually Old Trafford, as because of the match-going and online fan base, the disparity between individual players' performances at home compared with away is night and day, and that's because there's a ripple of anxiety that has spread throughout the entire squad when we play at home. No one wants to take risks in possession, there's a hesitancy in everything players are doing, because they've already seen Xerxes, who hasn't even been one of the top 5 worst performers this season, get absolutely humiliated at home by his own fan base. And while Xerxes himself seems to have recovered mentally, you can't tell me that this is not playing on the minds of the other players, particularly when they've also witnessed the relentless abuse that even academy graduates like Garnacho and Rashford have been receiving from their own fans. And this theory actually holds water, because if you look at where players like Martinez, Onana and even Yoro are making their mistakes, a significant proportion of the time it's coming at Old Trafford. Now statistically we aren't doing better away from home than we are at home, but if you look at where our best performances have come, it's mostly away from home against the bigger sides, particularly since Ruben Amorim's been appointed. The other issue I'm seeing is that Mainu is getting burnt out. He has a great performance one game and then the next week he just seems lethargic and just tired, yet the fan base once again doesn't seem to have the intelligence to see the context around his performances, and instead start jumping to simply saying that the particular player in question, Mainu or whoever else it is, just isn't good enough or is overrated. And that's the issue with the let's sign young players with potential transfer strategy, as I just don't think you can do it successfully with the amount of pressure that there is at Manchester United. See, rather than just trying to copy teams like Brighton, the United fan base and hierarchy, whoever's in charge of decisions, need to recognise that Manchester United, like Real Madrid and Barcelona, are a different type of club to others, certainly a lot different to the mid-table sides in the Premier League. Carlos Baleba for Brighton this season has looked phenomenal, but it took him a season to adjust, which he was able to do at Brighton under two top-level progressive managers like De Zerbi and Hertzler, crucially away from the spotlight and pressure. I think if we had signed Baleba in the summer of 2023, I don't think he'd be able to develop as he's been able to do at Brighton. And so whilst individual players are at fault, the bigger picture is the lack of investment in the squad. That means we are unable to repair the damage that was done during the Ten Hag era. And this all stems from the complacency and the delusion that occurred over the summer, which is purely down to Ineos and their best in class. So thank you for watching, let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you want to sign up to the in-game Instagram group chat, I'll leave the Patreon linked on the screen now.